Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're diving into a fascinating realm of technology that's often overlooked but incredibly impactful: technical documentation. You know, those manuals, specs, and decks that we sometimes skim through but hold so much more value than we give them credit for. So let me start with a question for you. Have you ever found yourself frustrated trying to figure out how to use a new gadget? Or maybe even more interesting, have you ever actually read a technical manual? I mean, most of us just kind of throw it aside, right? Well, today we're going to explore why these documents are essential, how they can save us time and headaches, and even touch on how they're evolving in our increasingly digital world. Now, many might think of technical documents as just dry, boring text filled with jargon, but that's far from the truth. For instance, imagine you just bought a new smart light bulb, and the manual starts off listing technical specs and installation protocols, all written in a way that feels like a conversation. Suddenly, it's relatable. That's the goal of good documentation. It should guide you like a friendly expert, not confuse you like a mysterious code. An insightful study showed that teams that invest time in crafting clear documentation see their productivity soar. Think about it. When everyone is on the same page, communication flows better. It's like having a playbook for a sports team that everyone knows inside out. They move seamlessly towards their goals without stepping on each other's toes. Now, doesn't that paint a picture of efficiency? And, we've seen a shift in formats as well. With a surge in online resources, we see less of the traditional paper manuals and more interactive digital experiences. User forums, video tutorials. It's almost like having a conversation with the user interface itself. It brings to mind how these resources capitalize on our natural curiosity, don't you think? Let's not forget some challenges, though. The balance between catering to both tech-savvy users and beginners can be tricky. Every writer of technical documentation has probably faced this dilemma: how to simplify without diluting important information. What's your take on this? Have you ever been caught in that gap where the manual feels like it's talking to an expert, leaving you feeling a bit lost? And I'd love to highlight some real-world anecdotes. For example, in the tech industry, there was a major project that faced delays simply because the documentation wasn't clear enough. After some adjustments were made to enhance clarity and structure, everything changed. The team went from chaos to harmony, all thanks to clearer documentation. It's like a revelation that pushes us forward. As we wrap up today's discussion, remember, the value of good technical documentation goes beyond just instruction. It's about creating connections and fostering understanding within teams as well as with users. So next time you open up a manual, take a moment to really engage with it. You might just find a wealth of resources that could elevate your experience or smooth out your workflow. Before you go, I'd love to leave you with this thought. How can you contribute to clearer communication in your own projects? Whether you're drafting a simple email or creating more complex documentation, every bit of clarity helps. Thanks for tuning in today, and I hope this inspires you to appreciate the unsung heroes of the tech world. Until next time.